for today's live session. I welcome everyone for this virtual event. We are super excited to have you all here. Now, before we start, let me remind you one basic rule of this webinar. Do not open your mic or your video until you are asked to do so, and ask all your queries in the Q&A session through call-in message, please. Now, moving on, joining us today is an extraordinary personality and visionary, Dr. Wasim Ahmad, an associate professor of Department of Economic Sciences at IIT Kanpur, who also happens to be an alumnus of AMU. Now, talking about his extraordinary career trajectory, he did his bachelor's from AMU, then he went for master's degree from University of Hyderabad. He received his PhD from Delhi University and postdoctorate from London School of Economics. His areas of research interests are macroeconomics, financial economics, and applied econometrics. He has received a long list of accolades. To name a few, Professor M.J. Manohar Rao Award 2014, RBI Faculty Fellowship 2018, Young Faculty Research Fellowship 2019. And today's session is going to be about what to do and not to do in economics. Now, without any further ado, I request Dr. Wasim Ahmad sir to take over the session from here. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. So thanks, Atif and Yaqub, both for this opportunity, because I was thinking to interact with you all. So am I audible to all of you, or is it fine? Can all of you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Thank you for a nice introduction. Though we have to keep learning and keep improving ourselves. But this topic that I chose about what to do and what not to do in economics. So normally we have the impression that economics is an art subject or social science subject. So the idea is that conventional belief that we have that this subject has to be with either it can be aligned with political science, political science, geography, and some I would say social science subjects. But when I came to AMU back in 2001, at that time I had no idea about economics. So the whatever I had thought in mind that I'll be going there doing my bachelor's, and then after that I'll go for civils. But it didn't happen. So when I reached to AMU, then I saw it had a very vibrant academic culture, and then people were interacting with each other. And I found quite amazed to see that economics was completely at the corner of the social science building, that side, back side, but now you have the separate building. But at that time, it used to be at the back side. So there we used to interact, we used to ask some questions. My BA economics, those were I would say classmates, they were more interested in MBAs. But at that time, I thought I'll be doing my master, though there was some apprehension that what will I do if I get the master in economics. So by that time, we were still thinking about these things. Then we had second year we had some optional courses, and that were very lengthy. And then final year came, and by that time we came to know that there is Delhi School of Economics, there is ISI, and then we have IGDR. Then we tried, and at that time, I would say thankful to. At that time, Dr. Asif helped me a lot because he was the one who motivated us to do. And at that time, we had colleagues from my own batch. They were quite interested in economics. So we started pursuing it with a lot of math, stats. We started trying, but it was too late. So then I realized that at least my contemporaries should not have those difficulties. At least they should be clear about the thought process, that what they want to do after economics. So today's session, it is yes.
I'm very sorry to interrupt you, but your voice is not very clear. It's a little weak. Can you use an earpiece or something, please?
Yes. So that's what I wanted to ask. That is it fine that can all of you hear me? Now it is fine, or I have to use something? So now it is fine.
Something.
So let me see if my internet connectivity is fine. Yeah. So now it is fine, or we have to
Yes, sir.
now?
Now it is fine, sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. So then the journey of economics started. So I joined the School of Economic Sciences, and at that time it was Department of Economics at University of Hyderabad, and then I worked in corporate hedge fund for 1 or 2 years. 1.5 year, I would say. By that time, we had Lehman crash, and then there was impact on financial market. Then I had a plan to go for higher studies. I tried abroad, but somewhere there was issue of fellowship. So it was a case of self-financing, and I had not come from that kind of strong financial background. So I thought I should complete PhD first. So I joined Delhi University of Financial Studies. I did my PhD. The first opportunity that I got was at IIT Kanpur, and then I moved to Kanpur. And I'm liking this place. I'm doing my work here, and we have economic sciences department. First across IITs to have economic sciences separate department. So IIT Kanpur has created a history, and then we are going to have very soon master's program through GATE exam, and hopefully in 1 or 2 years we'll have. So you'll have one more option after bachelor's to join. So let's start. I will not delay your I've done some work, background work, and have prepared some slides. So I thought I should be sharing with you. So can all of you see my PPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the so in the background when Atif contacted me, so I thought what should be the topic, because I work in the area of finance and it becomes very dry, especially at the bachelor level. It may look very odd thing to discuss all those topics that we don't need as of now. So then by discussion, it came out that we should be talking about something that should be relevant to all. And I also wanted for a long time that I should be at least spending some time with you all and seek your opinion. And if not all, if at least 5 to 6, if you can follow my suggestions, then it will be really helpful. But it is just, I would say, in the beginning itself that it is going to be some kind of suggestion. You don't have to completely rely on it. You have your own wisdom to do things, and you should be doing it. So let's start with very basic foundation thing that we have, that why economics and why we have to study economics and why it is so popular. So in Delhi University, if you do really well, if you have the score in 12th standard more than 90%, or I would say 95, then you get economics. Even in engineering sciences, you'll be surprised that at IIT Kanpur, when we teach economics, it is rated as one of the most popular departments across all engineering sciences. So we are now competing with computer science. So at one point of time, computer science used to be the champion in campus, and the departments like we had electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. So these departments used to be the champion, but now we have become a major interference. So now in IIT Kanpur also we see a lot of students taking economics courses because they think that it is going to be helpful in placements, and most of them they go for higher studies, and there also it is helpful. And I asked to some students that why do you take economics? Then they say that, sir, when we come here after qualifying JE exam, then our parents force us to do engineering, because they think that if you do engineering, then at least we will be able to tell that my son has done engineering from IIT, but don't do BS economics because it is Bachelor of Science, so it will not be that much helpful. But when they come to second year, then they start realizing that economics is the champion subject. And then last semester, I taught 280 students in my class when I was teaching financial econometrics and then financial economics also. I'm teaching summer course in that also. All the engineers are there, they are reading economics. But the most important popularity is that it is widely applicable. So we don't realize that this course, whatever you do, micro, macro, and mathematics or statistics or quant, whatever courses that you do, it has wide applications, and it is widely applicable in the whenever we talk about the data science as an emerging area. There the role of economics is really important. So you will find that a lot of students, they do courses in data science, and they help us to understand economics in a much better way. Now we have the era of machine learning, so there we find that there's a lot of application of I would say the concept of economics. For example, business cycle. So conventional idea to predict about business cycle is to take GDP data and filter and do a simple I would say calculation. But the technology, the improvement in data science has helped understand the economic phenomena in a much better way. So in IITK, I received a lot of emails from students who are doing BTech in electrical engineering or computer science. Sir, I want a project. I want to work with you on machine learning things, and we will be going for now casting the GDP and other factors. That's the scenario of economics that we have. So if you're doing BA economics over there, don't feel that you are doing a very inferior course. You are the most demanding people, especially among the engineering sciences, basic sciences, applied sciences, or even the social sciences. What are the opportunities that you have? So opportunities, if I talk about, then one role that you have is the economist, which we mentioned proudly, that we can think about future, and we are the next god that can tell about the economy, that whether it is going up or down. But apart from that, you have a lot of roles in consultancy, I would say analytics, decision sciences. There you have a lot of role to play. You can go abroad and do PhD and become the top acads like Raghu Ramarajan, or I would say Viral Acharya. So they are also engineers but economists. So your competition is going to be with engineers because they are also in the market and they are also studying economics. So we do hire some people with engineering background because they are good in mathematics. So it will be helpful to understand the economics in a much better way. Now coming to BA Economics. Why BA Economics? Because it is available at AMU, and then we have very good course. So I would say that I don't know whether you know or not. Economics department of AMU is known for BA Economics, not for Masters in Economics. So if you are planning to do your Masters, move out, do from Jamia or at least some other colleges, but not from AMU. AMU is rated at par with Delhi, I would say colleges, premier colleges, because BA Economics program is not that bad. And if you are focused, then you can easily jump in any top colleges that you have in India. So you don't have to think about that. So I would say the BA first year students are the most, I would say, brightest. Then they understand the system in second year, start understanding, I would say, playing with the system. Then third year they become lazy. Then when they join masters, if somebody has done BA from AMU, then he becomes dull. Then you understand the whole dynamics mechanism. So it is always good to move to different universities, and then you understand different culture, you are exposed to different environment, and that becomes really important. So it is not just you will be getting degrees, but will be exposed to a different environment. You will be having different colleagues talking about things, not just in a very homogeneous environment that you have. So it is always good to at least have one degree from one university and move to the next. At least try. Now let's start with BA first year. This I remember I was doing this part in 2001, so I'm back to my BA economics class. So in first years you have micro and macro, but you apart from this you will have the subsidiary courses. Some people have taken English or some other courses. Let it be. I'm not saying that you don't have to do. You don't have to give up. But the major focus should be in first year that you should be devoting more time on understanding the fundamentals of economics. And fundamentals of economics nowadays, because of the US economist intervention, it has become more quantitative, technical. And if I'm talking about technical, then it talks about math and stats and some more about the understanding of different mechanisms of consumers and markets and producers. You have to think about solving those questions in a much better way. You have to spend time. You have to at least think about those things, that how these things are happening, why we are not able to capture that, in how many ways we can do. Mathematics will help you. So I will also give the list of books that you need to. But in first year, you make sure that you are on this page. So on this slide, so you have micro, macro, and mathematics. You just have
Excuse
to.
me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, your slides are not visible. Your PPT is not visible, sir.
Not visible.
Yes, sir.
But somebody told that it was visible. No. Okay. Let me see. Now it is fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I'm saying that once I'm talking about the courses in first year, so you will have subsidiaries. You have to spend some time with those courses also. But if you have major in economics, if you are going to have major in economics, then you have to focus about micro, macro, and mathematics. And you have to keep solving problems. You have to go through, I would say, practice. You have to spend some time. So maybe you can form a group, so 4 to 5. During my time, I had a very good friend, and we had some good students from economics, and then we had formed a small group, 4 to 5 people. I had a very good and understanding friend, Deepak Washne at that time, Vipullah Khan, all these were there. And we used to discuss, we used to solve problems, and we used to find some kind of solution on that how we can. And at least we used to try on difficult problems, not so easy one that, okay, if you're dealing with consumer, then you should be just doing it some kind of real preference. But in real preference, you also have different type of I would say problems. So WAP, SHARP, and all others. So at that time, we came to know about Hall variant, and the book is still continuing. There is an advanced version also. But at least you should try with that book. At least read that 4 to 5 times. Go through first. You may not understand everything. Maybe 40% you can grasp. Second time you should try. You will get 60%, 80%, and then ultimately you will have command, and then you'll be finishing that book in 1 hour. So that should be your approach. So approach should be on fundamentals, that how I can be better. Because everywhere, wherever you go these days, people ask about theories, that how you can theorize the economics in a much better way, not with data and all of that. Data is a one requirement, but theory gives you a lot of confidence. So if you're planning that maybe after graduation when you do master, and then after master you have to go to US for PhDs, then there it will help you a lot, because there you will be tested on these things. So after GRE score, you will have interaction round, and interaction round people will ask these things. Then, as I told, that you have to think about different components of micro. So spend some time with and what are those books I will be mentioning. Then you have the macro. Macro, it is much more easier to understand, because you have the easy mechanism given ISLM, and then further extensions help you understand in a much better way, though in a very, I would say, theoretic way. In real life, it may not be the same. So exchange rate falls, normally export has to go up, but it doesn't happen. Now we have rupee very down, but we don't see that much boost in export. But apart from those things, you have to understand that first you have to understand the economics better, the macroeconomics better. Then only you will be able to link it with the interest rate, money supply, and there are different concepts. Then comes the mathematics. In mathematics, you have to be really good. Really good means that when you're going out, you have to compete with engineers. So you should be at least knowing about their level of mathematics, then only you'll be able to. If you don't have any scope of doing the mathematics right now, at least try to approach to some students who are doing at least bachelor's in mathematics or master's in mathematics, at least to ask about these topics. They will have good references. You can always keep that for yourself. Then here, as I told, that if you are students of economics, then your immediate relatives are mathematicians, statisticians, and the computer science guys. You have to spend time with them, not with Urdu, or I would say philosophy or psychology. Those students, they may be if they are neighbor, then you cannot avoid. If they are wingmate, then of course you have to spend some time. But from the, I would say, professional side, they are your real companions. So you spend some time with them. They are like your own, I would say friends. I mentioned own blood. I mentioned own blood, but it may not be the right word here. But I'm saying that you have to be closely attached with them. Ask for reference book, which course they are doing, how they are doing it. If you know something about differential equation, spend some time with them. That whether are you doing whatever you are doing, whether it is right or wrong, right? So this is what is all about this slide. Then I also wanted to mention something that if you have a chance, or somebody has just joined the economics program, if you are in BA first year, sorry for trouble. At backside some works are going on. So here we have the economics as a major. Then subsidiary you should choose math and stats. If you have done what is called we have PCM. So if I've done in your 12th, if you have background of PCM, then you should go for math and stats, which are really important. And then these things will help you understand in a much better way. So I would request all of you that if you have a chance to take these two optional as a subsidiary, you should opt for. But those who have already started with some other subject, what to do? So at least you should request the faculty members in the department, math department, that whosoever is going to teach the course, whosoever is taking the class on algebra or differential equations or math stats, they should at least allow you to sit in class. You can also talk to your chairman and some of the I would say faculty members with whom you are comfortable to talk to. At least you can request them that at least I want to do this course. Allow me to sit in class at least. I will not be appearing for exam because I may not satisfy the criteria, but at least I will grasp something. So I think it is not a very hard thing to do, and some of the faculty members at AMU are very generous. So they will not say no if you request them to do something. If you are interested in learning something, no one will stop you. And you can be regular, and you will interact with the students, and then you will have some understanding about the mathematics in a much better way. What we say that in isolation, you can always learn something, but it is always good to be in a group. Spend some time on mathematics and statistics from the beginning. So from BA first year onwards, if you start, then it is really good. If you talk about the books, then here you have the book list. So first is the intermediate microeconomics that we have. It is by Hall Arvarian. So 8th edition is there. On Amazon, if you try and search, then it will not cost you more than 400 rupees. Then you have the Walter Nicholson book. Nicholson book is widely popular across, and sometime it is also offered at the master's level. But since you have to compete in the market, so it is always good that you start from beginning. So maybe Pendick and Robinfield you can start, because this book is very basic. So it will not take you. It will not for you. It will be easier, and you can complete this book in 8 or 10 days if you sit tightly. Then you can move to intermediate. So you can move from here 8th edition from this appendix to, I would say, intermediate micro, and then you can move here, because this book this book will continue even in second year. And these three books are more than sufficient. So even if you spend time on reading only the intermediate microeconomics, it will be really good. To learn about that in India, which all books are referred as an for micro and macro and mathematics and statistics, so you should always go to Delhi School of Economics. There they have a MA program. MA program, they will have MA handbook for admission. In handbook, they mention about the book that they are referring now. That becomes the benchmark across India. So in Delhi University, in every colleges, you have economics program, BA Economics, but the syllabus is decided by Delhi School of Economics. So their experts will sit and they will decide that okay, this year which book we have to. So there will not be much change every year, but if they want to add anything, it will be shown. So it is always good that you should visit sometime Delhi School of Economics website, and then you can see master program, MA minimum criteria. What is the minimum criteria? Which all books I have to read. So there you'll find these books mentioned. So I would request all of you to at least spend some time on the website of Daily Skill Economics. So these are for the micro. For macro, if you want to read about, then the most popular book is ManQ book, and ManQ book is popular because this book gives you complete idea about understanding different concepts, basic concepts in macroeconomics. Then during our time also Branson book used to be the widely popular book. So if you just search on Amazon, you will get it the second edition. The only good part about this book is that it has the application of differential equations to solve the ASLM framework, and those frameworks are really easy to apply in real life. So even if you have macro problems given, you can apply those concepts. And for ISI Delhi, if you appear for your entrance exam, then there you'll have similar type of questions. It is always good that you should read this book. Fan book has become one of the popular books nowadays, and there you will find that this particular book is read everywhere. So it is always good to start with Fan, then move to ManQ, then move to Branson. Or if you want, you can start from Branson, move to ManQ, and at last you can go to Fan. The expert understanding says that suppose if I have been given the chance to refer these books, if I have the command on macro, then I should be able to tell that okay, for macro, for ISLM part, you should read from Branson, and then if you want to read about business cycle and further monetary component, monetary policy formulations, Taylor rule, and other aspects, then you can always refer ManQ because this book gives you a good idea about that. Maybe if you want to read about open economy, then Fine will be better. So in that context, you have to tell. So for example, if I am showing you the book of Holler Varian, so Varian book is not known for market. For market, you may be referring to Nicholson, but for consumer behavior, the very basic concept, it is I would say the best reference book for consumer behavior. So if you want to understand about different dynamics of consumer behavior, different types of utility functions, those you will be using when you will be doing PhD. So quasi-linear and some other types of utility, that gives you the complete understanding about. So if somebody is asking a question, then you should be able to answer. So why I'm mentioning these books, that you should be able to identify that for the particular topic, which book is good. Then that shows that you have the command on that subject. During our time, Henderson and Quant used to be the book in which the market structure was the proportion of market structure was really good. So that book is still popular. Most of the people, those who do bachelor's or master's from Calcutta, St. Xavier College or Presidency, they always mention that. So even we have read that book for the market. So you have to identify that, okay, a particular book is good for market, and then you have to think about consumer, then go to Holler Varian. Even the analysis is very good. So these are the books that you have to always refer. And these books are easily available on website, Amazon or any e-commerce website, and you can buy these books. Then in macro, you have some supplements. So Mishkin is well known for a financial economics book plus the macro book. And nowadays it is referred also at Daily Skill Economics. When I saw the document, I found this book, so I thought I should mention. But these are supplementary books I am mentioning here. Macroeconomics that I mentioned about some outline, this is for practicing. So here you will have a lot of problems to solve on ISLM, different types of problems. So you can sit tightly for 1 or 2 hours, spend some time and think about it. Oliver Blanchard book is very popular. So at very basic level, at graduation level, if you try and ask me that what is the level of macroeconomics, so we deal in a very static manner, not in a very dynamic way until unless you apply some kind of optimization tools of dynamic optimization. Otherwise, it remains more or less static. But when you move to master's level where I teach, then there we apply the concept of micro foundations of macroeconomics. So micro foundations mean in the sense that the consumer behavior that you have read, we try to understand different we try to understand the behavior of different agents. So you have consumer, you have firm, and you have market, and then we try to infer upon the overall economy. So we'll first define these agents, and then we'll try to have interaction general equilibrium, and from there we'll be driving the macroeconomic outcome. That is the advanced level. But I'm talking about BA. So BA, these things are more than sufficient. I spend time on solving problems on macro, micro. I would say, more than 100 or 200 questions you can solve is it's not a big issue. And these, once you go for solving these mathematical questions, then it will help you to understand the concept in a much better way. No one can tweak you. So when you go for any interview, you will be again classed with these kind of, I would say, questions. So it is always good that you focus on these things. Let's start with mathematics. What to do when we are dealing with mathematics? So in mathematics, John Bird book is very popular, and in this book, I'm referring to those who do not have the mathematics background. Even to those who are not having the PCM background, they can also understand this book, Engineering Mathematics. And this fifth edition book, it is widely popular. You should have this book. It is you can download online also if you have the access, or you can also go for setting up different types of I would say mathematical problems. It has applications. It has I would say a lot of examples. For example, log. If you want to understand the basics of logs, on logs also you'll have a lot of examples on transformations and other things. Then Hamud book is quite popular, and mathematics for economic analysis. And this book is in India, I think in most of the Delhi University colleges, even St. Stephen's or SRCC, there you will find that most of the students, they do their homework from these books. One more book which is very popular, and it is advanced book though, but some of the portions you can cover up in your second year itself if you spend time, because you already have some background. So first you should start with engineering mathematics, go to mathematics for economic analysis, and then third you should move to mathematics for economics. So Hoy book is very popular, so even we refer sometime. So the book is very thick, and it has all the advanced topics till, if you want, you can go up to dynamic optimization and all the optimization techniques that you apply, you will find here. And it is one of the best books, I would say, available in the market. So that's why I referred this book, and it will help you understand those concepts in a much better way. Then apart from this, suppose you are bored with the books, then and you want to listen something, then I would request all of you to look for online sources also. There you will find the MIT Open Courseware. There you have the list of the courses that we have. So here we have Principle of Microeconomics, undergraduate, Principle of Microeconomics, undergraduate. There you can solve the assignments, problems, and you can take the printout of that. You can convert that into your personal book, practice book, and solve the problems. There will be also assignments, so don't look at the answer immediately. Try to solve yourself, and then see that whether you are doing rightly, or whether it is correct, or you still have to learn, improve upon, so you can go for self-evaluation. So these things are very important. So microeconomic theory 1, 2, 3, 4, then macro also, intermediate macro. So you can find the book that you want to read, and it is easily downloadable. The best part is that you have one of the most productive instructors that we have on this planet. So this helps you understand, and you should have this in your if you have laptop, you should keep it in one folder. Better to convert that into hard copy, and then you can start solving. So these are the sources. In India, on the similar pattern, we have NPTEL course, and this course is now it is funded by MHRD. All the IITs and all the universities are part of this. So you will find that most of the faculty members, especially if you are from economics, you will find a lot of economics courses offered here. So microeconomics by one of my colleagues here, they have offered on macroeconomics, and the macroeconomics by Vimal Kumar, if you search, you will find. Then we have on quant finance also. I have also offered, and I will be also offering one more course on finance very soon. But on a special request, since there are a lot of requests coming from the MHRD that we should have course on development and should also have course on Indian economy. So I had shared the course with one of my colleagues. So that is there. But I teach finance. I will be offering that very soon. So there also you can register. You have to pay the nominal amount, 1,000 or so, and then you can have the certificate also. But these things will not be the primary thing. Primary things are the books that you are referring. So those books that I just have shown you, you have to read about. Then comes the second year. Now, first year you have done by doing all these things. So 1 year, it means you have 2 semesters. So 2 semesters you have done. All the subsidiary courses and all that is for your soothing effect, because when you are bored with micro doing for 4 months, then you need something. So whatever subsidiary subjects that you have taken, that will help you, and you can spend some time. So now it is the second year, and now second year is the time when you have to work on the foundations, because you have to apply to some good institutions. And for that, the I would say preparatory work should start in the second year. So you should form the group. I would request all of you that since in economics you have 100 students and sometimes it goes beyond that, or sometimes it comes to 90, 95, I would request all of you to form a group. You can, so it may happen that the third year student will conduct the exam quiz kind of thing for the second years, and whosoever will qualify, they will be given a space in the department to read, prepare, or if department is not giving you, then you have the hostels there. You can simply set up a room of one of your colleagues, that okay, everyone will come here and let's make this as a reading room or something, and let's start preparing it. Once you qualify that, then the chain will start, and once you have the long chain, you don't have to worry about a space. You can have your own building, right? So that's the case that we have to do. So here we have in India, the popular names are DSC, ISI, JNU, IGDR. So Delhi School of Economics, Indian Statistical Institute, Delhi, JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, must be knowing, Indira Gandhi Institute of Development Research, then Madras School of Economics, Hyderabad Central University, IIT Madras has a course on development economics. So there also you can apply. IIT Guwahati has also a course on economics, not purely economics, but development. IIT Delhi, I heard that they are going to start very soon on public policy or some other aspect. Berkeley and I would say two institutions have recently been added to the list of premier institutions in India. One is Ashoka University. Ashoka University has a very strong department of economics. You will find that most of the people have a good track record of not just the education, but also the track record of good publications. So there you can apply for a scholarship, because it is expensive, not for everyone. But if you get the fellowship, you should join over there. Shivnadar is one university where they have also set up a very good economics department, and all the faculties are quite productive. You can think about, but I would still say that if you are targeting, then target DSC, ISI, and IGTR. Madras School of Economics, Hyderabad University, these are the institutions that will help you a lot. And among private, I would say Ashoka is the best institution where you can refer. So the focus should be on revision, whatever you have done, problem solving. You can form a focus study group where they will be targeting. You can start getting the back year question papers of these institutions. If you can get it online, you can find and start attempting. So this is the second year. So you have a time that if you are weak in one subject and if you're not able to solve, then you still have sometimes 6 months or 1 year almost that you can get into. So you can request, if you are weak in one aspect, then you can ask for some help from mathematics people or stats people or in the department from your seniors. So those are the things that you can do in second year. You can still go and take your you can go into back gear. But once you are in third year, then you don't have chance, because then by March, April you will be applying, and by May you have entrance examinations. So in third year you have very limited time. Second year itself you should have the preparatory work done. Then, apart from just reading, it may not be good. So you have already started the economics group, which organizes the seminars, webinars. So it is always good to contact those students who are already pursuing masters. So masters from ISI Delhi. You can go on the LinkedIn, Facebook, or maybe on their website and see who all have qualified last year. There will be the list, merit list uploaded on the website. Even if not there, you can find them on LinkedIn. Write to them that we want to invite you for a webinar. If you can share your experience, that how you have done for these preparations, then this will help. Why I'm emphasizing this thing, that some of you may not like that, why so much emphasis on these institutions. Economics nowadays, it is all about branding also, from where you are graduated. So one of my colleagues who has come from Columbia University PhD, he said that when I was in PhD over there, I had to do one stats course, and then when I told that I'm from ISI Delhi, then I was allowed directly in the course. Though there was some kind of requirement that until unless you have such and such knowledge, then only you'll be allowed in class. But the moment I told that I'm from ISI Delhi, then they said, okay, well, come and sit in class. So, which means that there is some kind of branding over there also, that people know that, okay, if you are coming from so institution, then you'll be really good. So that kind of branding is required. So it is always good to be at least try to be part of these institutions. Then it will open up the different networks. So you have already the alumni network of AMU, plus you add the alumni network of ISI, DSC. There you will be accepted in a different way. So you don't have to feel about. So it is always good to connect with people. Ask them for a webinar, at least 1 hour, half an hour. Share the experience, that how you have done, what all things were required. They would like to share, and it is easier to connect with students than their teacher or experts. So maybe I may be busy with some other things, but if you try and ask the student, then they understand the real struggle behind coming till here. So it is always good to connect. So as I mentioned, that you can also travel. Some people, because ISI Delhi is not far away, Delhi's economics is also not far away. So when I came to know, when I was doing my BA economics over in AMU, that at that time in my final year, when I was about to complete my masters, I came to know that at Delhi, nearby Mukherjee Nagar, some people are offering the I would say crash course for Delhi School Economics entrance examination. So then we used to catch morning 6 o'clock. We used to catch EMU, and then we used to reach 9:30 Delhi. Take go for all the sessions. So it used to be from 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock, and then 4 o'clock you are tired. Then you have to rush to Old Delhi railway station, and then you catch whatever train option that you have. You come back here, and there nearby Tasveer Mahal, there was a good dhaba of veg food. So we used to have food over there. Sometimes it was not we were very late, so sometimes you have to come back to the hostel. But those were the struggle days, because no one was there to help, and I had no idea, but I wanted to do good in economics. So, and then again, next day morning, again, you have to start 6 o'clock. Again, you have to catch 6 o'clock train. And then you reach Delhi, again do the class, and come back again from Delhi by night, 10 o'clock, you reach to Aligarh, and then hardly you have 5 hours sleep. And then you are tired, because there used to be a lot of assignments. So we used to work till 2 o'clock night, again sleep for 3 hours, rush. So I don't want that you should be doing, because during that time it was very difficult. But nowadays you have internet, better connectivity. Now the pandemic has also given us the option to interact virtually. So maybe you can connect with the students of these institutions and ask them for some advice. You may be knowing better than them, that's for sure. But it is always good to interact. At least you will know your value. So, and Ashoka University also has very good departments. I would request you that you should try at least have a look at the department, the faculty members from where they have studied, what is their background, how they are doing it. You can also have interaction with some of the students. So those things will help. And if you have a foreign faculties in one department, then that is considered as good, because then if a foreign faculty, then if you want to go abroad, then it is much easier because their recommendation will matter a lot. So many students they join these institutions because it helps. So apart from your hard work, if there is extra support, then that is always good. In Delhi, as I told that during our time, there used to be some coaching institutes, but then we were not aware of. We came to know very late from some of the students in class. But in Delhi, there are dedicated coaching institutes also. You can request them. If you are in good number, then you can request them to offer online services, and they would like to. It's not about if you pay them well, they would like to offer. Anyone likes money. And now, considering that pandemic is going to continue for one more year, it looks like that we have third wave, and I don't know how many waves we have, and we have to see. So it is always good to interact online, and then you can request. So maybe one person will be the coordinator among yourself. You can request them that you can take the lead, interact, ask. So you can just search online. There are some institutions in Delhi which offer such support. So you should always take that. It is not that only the teacher is offering. Teacher has only 15 minutes time in class. In 15 minutes in AMU you have to take attendance, and there are some other formalities. Thankfully, that part is done by staff here. At our end, we don't have to. So in IITK, attendance is not compulsory. So there is no point that somebody should have 75%. But if you want, then you can put some numbers that if you attend the class, you will get 5%, 5 marks extra. President will come and attend the class, but that is done online. So biometric, we have attendance, so that is done by some staff. We have to take this class. But in 15 minutes, you can't expect everyone to focus on things. So it is always good that you start side by side, and if you are sincere, then you must pursue differently. Ask for a space in department, but that is up to you. I'm not going to emphasize because I know about the economics department, not so easy to. And then you can also use different filtering techniques. Filtering techniques, I mean to say that, as I mentioned, that you can conduct exam among yourself. That okay, if you are 60 students, I will take the exam, and you filter that if you have so suppose if somebody scores 60% and more, then he will be given extra opportunity, in the sense that you can ask the chairman that we have gone for such filtering process, and at least now you should give the access to seminar. We can sit over there and we can spend some time. My idea was that in economics department there should be one space for UG students, and there will be some kind of biometric entry with CCTV and all. So 24 hours it should be open. Anytime if you want to just walk in, you can go there and sit and study, so that you will have. The economics requires different kind of training. So like engineering sciences, you have during night time also. Some people have the access to department. In the same way, you can also have the access in the department. And with the biometrics, so maybe some dynamic people who are there, if they will be interested, then it can be done. But at student level also, you can go for such type of filtering process. During our time, coaching and guidance center, we used to have such type of filtering technique where they used to ask for a small entrance exam, and then after that they used to give the access to reading room. So that kind of approach you can also have among yourself. So in BA second year, I would request that you have to read these books. So microeconomics, then you have mathematics for economics, then you have macroeconomics, Oliver Blanchard. Then here you have then here you have the probability in statistics. Now you should start giving dose or taking the dose of probability in statistics. There, our book is very popular, and I would request all of you to buy this because it is not very expensive. And if you are already having that is really good, and start practicing. But it is always good to add the dimension of probability statistics, where it is very, I would say, critical. When you understand the econometrics, and there it will help you. So again, the same. So the microeconomic theory, mathematics for economics, and macroeconomics should be there on your table, and start reading side by side. Some people may be interested in reading about Amartya Sen theories, or somebody may be reading about John Ray's book, or if you are interested, you may be reading about some Raghuram Rajan book. That is for a different understanding. You should also follow some personalities. You should be also active on social media. That's a different thing. But apart from that, your core focus should be here. That you have to join the top colleges in the country. You have to be among them. You should be counted as one of the brightest students in the country. So if you have that kind of interest, then you must start. Those who are in BA second year, you have very limited time. Now you have the final year. Final year, you have a very limited choice. So here you have to start attempting the back year questions that I told. Keep an eye on the application dates. Maybe you can put up on the notice board for the benefit of all that these are the dates and you should apply before. And if you have a optional given econometrics, you should choose that. But econometrics at the graduation level, you may not be able to understand everything. But at least the OLS, loss functions, how to go, maximum likelihood, at least you should know about. If somebody is asking you what is classical linear regression model, you should tell. If somebody is going to ask you that what is the multipolarity problem, autocorrelation problem, you should be able to tell. So it is all about that. And any basic book, Damodar Gujarati, will be more than sufficient if you want to solve the problem. So as I mentioned, that you can read these books. So econometrics book, whatever I mentioned is more than sufficient. Maybe you can start with Damodar Gujarati. You may like Madala or Kajal Lahiri. And then you can also refer a very good book which is by Stock and Watson. So this book I always refer. So this book is quite popular. So and all these three books are available on Amazon and at very not expensive, less than 500 or 600, I would say. Spend time. So econometrics, it is not about just the software and coding. Econometrics is more about understanding the algorithm. That ultimately you'll be dealing with data. How are you going to deal with that data? How is it going to be? What are the dynamic, I would say, steps? I would say, if you have to understand the phenomena stepwise, then you have to have the algorithm that how this data will be processed. So econometrics is all about. So you should know about each and every step of that. Otherwise, nowadays you have the easiest tool, eViews and some other stuff. Don't get into those things because it will not help you. So it requires some kind of mature understanding. So maybe when you are doing your masters, there you will have a lot of opportunities to learn because you already have the fundamentals. So BA is all about fundamentals. That how strong are you in fundamentals? That will decide the quality of your masters. Because when you're going to do masters, these things will be repeated again. But you have to ask the quality questions to your teacher. Then your teacher will appreciate that, okay, this person seems to be quite mature. So that should be the approach, that you have to prepare yourself for the next part. So next part is about this. Then here you have the final goal, that you have to appear for the entrance test of all these institutions. If you qualify, you have a different life. You can go to corporate, you can go to anywhere. You have the all long way to go. At least if you are in graduation, then you should do justice to yourself and the subject. So try to keep in mind that you are going to do master. If you have an MBA plan, that's a different thing. But this lecture is all about doing masters in economics or trying to be a trained economist. So if you want to be a trained economist, then you have to do this part. Many people are interested to go for civils. It is always good that you should go for civils, but civils, it is not that you will be doing BA economics, then only you are going to be eligible for civils. Anyone can do. This is not the part. But no one can do this part that you are going to do. So BA sociology may not be able to do this part of so much sophistication in understanding math, stats, and other things. So this is your goal, that you have to achieve these things and start working on those milestones, whatever you have to achieve. So if I say if you're BA economics, then you should at least try to focus on these things. Then what not to do in economics, that you should not focus so much time on learning finance, development, and then Indian economy, labor, and there are some other optional courses. But it then also means that you have to give up completely that okay, ये तो बुला ही नहीं गया पढ़ने के लिए. So that should not be the approach. The approach should be that okay, if it is part of the course, because in final year you will have to take some courses, in second year also you will have, so it is always good that you take those courses, try to manage. So if I'm saying manage in the sense that you should form the group, you can divide the topics, discuss among yourself, and development will not require that much time. Indian economy also will not require that much time to understand, and sometimes your teachers may also tell you about the topic that you have to read this or that. But the understanding of micro, macro, then econometrics, then mathematics, statistics, these subjects require different type of training, different types of training. So for that I am mentioning it. And if I'm talking about finance, I'm talking about development, I'm talking about Indian economy, then these subjects are given in your bachelor just to provide the perspective. You are not completely matured, but you are first time introduced to these topics. Again, in masters, these topics will come in a much more mature manner. Maybe there will be a lot of algorithm and the application of macro concepts. So there you will have the clear cut idea. So you should wait for some time, at least have the basics, gist of all these topics, and then you can apply in advance later. Then as I told, that BA is about the fundamental basics. So here it is about the you have to spend time on focusing on fundamentals because it is all about that. What not to do in economics, again, it requires that you don't have to spend time on learning softwares and e-views or something. It is not required at graduation level. You will have time. Focus on fundamentals. Once you go for masters, you will have a lot of time to focus on these things. There, so suppose if you go to ISI Delhi, they train more in mathematics. So your economics is going to be tougher over there. So whatever you have read, you will be reading. So macro you have read by Brian, they will be reading David Romer. You will be reading. You will be reading Williamson. Then there are some other books you'll have to do. So there, most of the growth theory, solo growth model, Romer, it becomes a quite contradictory thing because their approach is the Malnobius approach that you have to build the theory first. So theoretical approach. So that's why if you are masters from ISI Delhi, if you apply to US for PhD, you will be hired immediately because there they understand that you have so and so background. So theoretically you are very sound. But if you go to IGADR, there they will train more in macro because they have very good macro faculty and finance. And since it is in Mumbai, so Mumbai is financial capital. So there is some approach that should be towards that, but they are also good in environment, IGADR. And similarly, Delhi School of Economics, again, the game theorists have dominated. So game theory applications are there. So course is going to be much tougher, but still you have a time because you have done a good job in your bachelor. So 60% or 40%, whatever time you have, you can focus on coding, you can focus on game theory. There will be some course on game theory, some course on advanced econometrics. And since you already have the background, so this will help you in masters also. So in master, you don't have to worry about it. You will have time to sit in canteen, spend some time with your colleagues, friends, because those are going to be the memories, not the degree. So leave something for masters. Don't try to do everything in the graduation. You have to read all the books, all Nobel laureate ideas. You have to do this, that. You don't have to. You have to prioritize that what do you want to do and what is required. And if you follow the goal in a stepwise manner, you are bound to achieve. Then coming to the department, because then you will say that we don't have such courses. Mathematics is offered only in the final year. Then mathematical economics is also being offered in the final. But let it be because when we were there when we were doing in BA economics from there, then in the final year, by final year when it came, we were quite confident about the things. So most of the mathematics courses, mathematical economics. became quite easy, and we scored well. So mine, I scored 69, 72 in math and mathematical economics, even econometrics we had done well because we were quite confident because first year onwards we were quite focused. But we had very limited information from outside that what it has to be done. The way no one was there to explain us that I am explaining you. So at least don't try to have any bad experience with your teachers that okay, if you are giving some problem and just try to teach your teacher that whether somebody is able to solve the DSE problem or not or ISI problem or not. Never do that because you have to think about long term. So when you are passed out, then still you have the opportunity and you will be needing them for references, anything. So it is always good to have a good I would say memory of your department, not the bad thing that you are just going for something which is not required. So better to focus with the positive energy. So if you're going to bring change, it should start from yourself and then only you can think about. So try to balance yourself. Do not go for any kind of controversy or any bad experience. Try to avoid that. And for example, today I got an email from my students who is joining King's College London, and he got offer from University of London, and again he got from one more college, which is very good. So I recommended the King's College. Similar way, a lot of my students are at Cambridge, then somebody is California, Riverside. Some people are doing masters, bachelors. But at IIT, what I find that these students these students are much more mature what they have to do in life and very confident, and they will be really thinking about 5 years ahead. You have to be like that. If you're doing a thing, then you have to do it in a much more mature manner. You should always have the rule that a student should not question, going for criticism or criticize the juniors or seniors or colleague in front of the teacher. If teacher is saying something about about the colleague that he is not good, she is not good, वो पढ़ाता नहीं है, वो नहीं करता, you have to be silent. You don't have to speak a single word or say yes or no to him. It's not your business. Your job is to complete the course with good marks, flying colors, and you have to move. Don't try to get into the departmental dynamics that every department will have. So the students never do a bitching against any of your colleague to teacher, even if they are not good, because you should always maintain the distance with teachers, and teachers should also maintain the distance with students, so they should not be sharing things which are not required. So at least some kind of I would say understanding and maturity is required. So never do those things. Our students, whenever we say that okay, that student I gave him one assignment and he did not submit and I don't know where is he will simply say that sir, he is very busy and these days I can see something is not good, or he's not well from the family side, so he's quite tensed. He will never say that sir वो तो पढ़ता ही नहीं है, वो तो कुछ नहीं करता, वो तो घूमता ही रहता है. He will never say that. That kind of maturity is required. So at your level, never get into these things. Always have the positive approach in life. Then only you will grow. Because tomorrow, if you want to be CEO of the company, or if you have targeted that you will be leading an organization, then you should develop the attitude from the beginning. Otherwise, you will be trapped with those all negative thought and negative understanding. So always keep in mind that once you have joined the institution, then you have to help that institution to grow, not to think only about yourself. So that narrow understanding you don't have to follow. So this is, and then this was the requirement. Then again, you need money, because if I'm saying that you should ask the colleges to offer you online help or virtual classes, then you need the money, because it is required. So what you can do, the mature approach is that you can talk to a chairman that you need 50,000, 1 lakh rupees, or you can go for crowdfunding. So that is also quite possible, because AMU Economics department is one of the oldest departments. There are a lot of alumni, they will be also interested. You don't have to ask them 10 lakh rupees to them. Just ask for whatever they can contribute to the department. So, or what will be the right approach? Prepare a 1 or 2 page proposal that this is what BA Economics students want, and you should be happy that if you are doing BA Economics from there, you have more alumni network than the master students. Master student 1 or 2 may have qualified the IES exam, but if you're a bachelor, there are a lot of students, those who have passed out, and then some of them are doing good in corporate, or I would say academia. Everywhere you will find yourself connected. So try to ask for contribution, try to share the proposal, ask for their opinion that we want to go for this, how do you want? But never get into collection of the 1 core target or 10 core. Whatever is required, you do it. Once you start having, if some students will qualify as ideally DSC, then things will start floating and you don't have to do anything. It will have the chain effect. So some seniors, some juniors will do, and it will be more than sufficient. So our job is not to just go behind money. We have to think about making an impact in the department. So this is all about I wanted to say. Now coming to foreign education, a lot of students nowadays write about that how they can go outside. What I would request that you should have such type of preference to follow the QS ranking, top 100 QS ranking institutions. Mostly you will find in US departments in US. Most of the universities have economics department. One good advantage about the US degree and UK degree and European degree is that, let me tell you about job market. If you are from US and if you have done PhD or masters from US, you can go anywhere. You can go and settle in Europe, you can come to UK and do it. But if you have done masters from UK, you cannot go to US because there they will not count your degree as much as valuable as you think. And if you go to Europe from UK, you can go to Europe, or you can always come to India. That's a different thing. But if you're planning to move to US, having degree of UK, very difficult. Until unless you are from Cambridge, Oxford, or London School of Economics. The rest of the institutions are inferior. They do not have that much strength. So your first preference should be US universities, departments. Go there, just see who all are faculty members. Try to have a look at QS ranking, how it is doing. At least try to paste the top 100 institutions in your department notice board. People should see that okay, these are institutions, top institutions in economics. So subject-wise ranking there. In subject-wise, they'll mention that for development, these are the departments. For macro, these are the departments. In that, you will have to identify. So somebody should have to do this homework, and then they have to come out with the ranking. Apart from US institutions, if you want to apply, then you have Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, Warwick, then here Manchester, Sussex, then Barcelona, HEC, Paris, and other institutions. These are the institutions where you can apply. One more thing, if you are first generation. So I was first generation in my family who came to AMU, did his bachelor's, and then I had to go for exploration. If you are from first generation, or if you are from second generation, somebody was already there in higher education. So from my family, I was the first one to do PhD. So that became a quite challenging task. I spent a lot of time, and I regretted also later that I should have asked somebody for the advice, but no one was there. So I had to explore by myself. Now at least you have the social media, so you should be active on LinkedIn. Try to connect with people across country origin, in the sense that somebody has done master from London School of Economics. He is from Singapore. Try to connect. Send them a request. At least ask for advice. They would like to help you, because the love of struggle has a different beauty. You will not understand. So if you see somebody asking for help, and if somebody is trying to do well in his or her life, people would like to support. And the most important thing is about the how easy are you in acceptability, in the sense that how comfortable are you in accepting new ideas. You don't have to rigid about your thought process. You may be coming from different family background, but once you have come to academics, or once you have joined the university, then you have to be flexible. Read about personalities whom you like, what is their background, how they have struggled, how they have reached till this stage, and always respect to your colleague, irrespective of whether male or female, because success has no gender; it is genderless word. So even I had a very bad experience with one of the student when somebody contacted me, asked that I want to apply to London School of Economics. For this, I shared the link of some of the persons whom I know, and I just searched on LinkedIn. I shared the contact, but I received a smile. That gave me a very awkward a feeling that how come somebody can reply? They are well qualified. Somebody is going to join master's program at the LSC, and you are still applying. You don't know how to apply, but you cannot smile. So you have to understand that whosoever is around, you have to accept them. They are your colleague and equally talented. In some way, they will be much more better. So gender perspective, you have to always keep outside, and you have to always believe that he or she, somebody will be doing at her level, and whatever somebody is doing, you have to appreciate. So be open-minded. If you are coming from even conservative family, I come from a very, very conservative family. My parents are five times namazi, and there are a lot of I would say restrictions, but we changed. But okay, we can't live with this. We have to now think about more than this, that how we can be better. And for a good human being, you don't have to be a very religious person. You can be a good person by understanding things, by reading things, by having experience. That also makes the person good. So you don't have to be very strict about certain things, that it has to be in a proper manner, then only it will be accepted. You don't have to. So try to be open-minded, ready to accept the idea, ready to accept the talent of others. These are the maturities that you have to show. So these things you have to always understand. About the newspaper, you should read at least one newspaper, I would say. So only one is enough. Either you are reading Economics Times, Live Mint, or you are reading Financial Express, Business Line, anything, it will be sufficient. The Economist, the Wall Street Journal, you have the Bloomberg also, for finance and macro. During my time, I came to know about this write-up very late. When I joined masters, then I came to know about Mancu's blog, and I was completely